Hey everybody, and welcome to Who Gives a Shit, the show where we beg the question, Who gives a shit?
It's also the podcast where one leg is automated and the other one is incarcerated. Shout out to the homie Slice for writing up those jokes.
Yeah, incredibly useful. So this episode we're going to be talking about Bill Burr on the Grammys. We're also going to be talking about separating the art from the artist and talking about Woody Allen again. We're also going to be talking about the COVID-19 bill, but not the $1,400 check part. And we're also going to be talking about, well, shit, I forgot my fourth topic, but it'll come to me. So anyways, damn it. CJ, how was your week, man?
My week was fantastic, man. I was in the middle of a Adderall gambling bender, and I had a come to Jesus moment. I thought, regular Hold'em is pretty stressful right now. Maybe if I give this Omaha game a try, I will like it. So I played for like 2 hours maybe, and I ended up making $90 off of it and cashing out. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Oh, fucking nice. Damn, man, my week has been, it was a hell of a damn week to say the least. Because, last Friday, I woke up with some crazy, stress-induced migraine headache. Man, I am not chopped up to talking to lawyers. I'll put it like that. Filing a patent's a fucking bitch, man. And then doing that on top of starting a business is a real... God, that shit was fucking rough.
Lawyers, literally kill you. You hear that, CDC? Shut all the legal firms down because they're harmful to one's health.
Man, they really are. I had to, just decompress the entire weekend and, sleep it off. It was weird, man. It got to the point where I couldn't even, it took a lot of effort to, focus on something and actually, read properly. It was a real fucking bitch. Well, I remember my fourth topic because this dude's a fucking piece of trash and so fucking forgettable. How could I forget? Fucking Piers Morgan. God, it was actually entertaining researching this fucking tool.
I don't really know that much about Pierce. I'm excited to learn more about him, I guess.
Well,
I know that Jeremy Clarkson totally cucked him and punched him right in the nose. That's all I know.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So what's the first thing that you want to talk about this week, CJ?
So I would like to bring in my man Bill Burr. And this headline comes from a conservative news blog website. Now, do you want to take a guess, Adam, and play our guessing game and figure out which one the article comes from?
I'll give it a shot. What's the headline?
The headline is, what did Bill Burr really say at the Grammys?
Oh, God. All right. So... some rag that overly reads into shit that's going to play into outrage. So, of course, it's some left-leaning bullshit. It sounds more West Coasty to me. But I could be wrong about that. I'm going to go with the Washington Post.
It's actually the folks at Newsweek. Do you know what Newsweek is?
I'm familiar. It's it's another one of those gossipy kind of rags, right? Where they just do surface level scraping of bullshit that people are talking about.
It's a one-off news organization from the team at the Daily Wire, Shapiro's paper, because a couple of those guys separated because they didn't like Shapiro's management, and Newsweek is the paper that they made.
Oh, damn. I was totally off base on this one. Well, shit. All right, so what are these people trying to freaking rag on Bill Burr about this time?
So Bill Burr is once again being punished for being funny. He's one of my favorite comedians, and it happens to him a lot. And I'm usually aware of every event. But this I did not know about till we talked about it, because I don't give a shit about the Grammys, and I never had, or any award show for that matter. They're all kind of pointless. But Bill Burr, for some reason, he was elected by the Academy to read off the nominees for a Best Latin Pop Album. And right before he butchered the Mexican's name, he was all like, oh, the feminists are going to have a field day with this one. They're going to be tweeting, oh, what is the cis white male doing up here presenting Latin music awards? And that's exactly what they did. I know we have a couple of those tweets for our mid-segment on To Catch a Redditor, so I'm going to save them.
There's a real choice one that... it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And,
oh yeah, man. What I love about this one is he called it out. He said it was gonna happen, right down to the group. He said in the joke, he said feminists are gonna be mad for this, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, this cis white male presenting this Latino stuff, and it makes me think that the Grammys knew what they were doing.
Well, yeah, it certainly got me talking about them.
Play out. What's funny is the Grammys ratings are way the fuck down. They got like half of their normal viewership. It's like the lowest ever by a really big margin.
I think
they were at like 7 million or something like that, when normally it's like 17, and the lowest was like a little over a decade ago at like 11, and they were fucking freaking out about that.
Well, my mom would make it a family thing every year, right? We're gonna get together around the fireplace and we're gonna watch the Grammys. And around my maybe 15th year of my life, she just stopped doing that, and I haven't watched the Grammys since then. And I don't plan on watching.
I've never watched the Grammys. I think a handful of times I watched the Oscars, but that's about it. Because they got Grammys for fucking everything. Shit, the fucking 1985 Chicago Bears got nominated for a Grammy for the Super Bowl Shuffle.
Well, that is a good song for people that have brain damage. I'm honestly impressed that they were able to make it.
Yeah, like, but I mean, what's funny is these people should have known better than to try to sit there and go at Bill Burr. If they were actually going to try to do damage to this guy, if they could somehow have some solidarity and just shut the fuck up on this one, and if they just did nothing, it actually would have made the joke fall flat. But they just couldn't fucking help themselves. It's too damn funny.
Well, this is my argument for, this is what I tell feminists all the time. We think that you're cunts, right? But you live up to the reputation of you being a cunt. You don't do anything to try to prevent that you don't do anything to try to prevent that image of you going out to people. In fact, you like being seen as a cunt. If you feminists would have just shut up about this joke, it would have been another monologue joke that would have went under the water. Nobody would have paid attention to it at all. But because you guys just you cannot not embarrass yourself. They're addicted to embarrassing themselves, feminists. And then you have...
Be loud in general. Can't forget about that.
Yeah. Then you have the equally dumb people, which is Black Twitter. They're dumb on this whole thing, too. Because their argument is, Bill Burr has a black wife, so he is a god. and everything he says cannot be cancelable because he has a black wife. And even within that segment, there's a segment of people trying to cancel Bill Burr for fucking a black chick because they say that he's fetishizing his own wife.
Oh my God. So, wait a minute. Are these people on the sly trying to fight against miscegenation by saying you can't fetishize someone of a particular race? No, that's too highbrow for them. They're just fucking retarded. Like that is.
Yeah, it's almost like they want segregation to exist. Almost.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Although
that's something I've been dealing with all my life too, because I consider myself a connoisseur of the Jungle Bunnies, and a lot of people, mostly white women, seem to be butthurt by that fact. So they say that I'm fetishizing them, and I am fetishizing them to a degree because they're fucking hot. And they can be good sex objects at times, but it's not.
Have you ever had a black chick get mad at you about this?
What?
Have you ever had a black chick get mad at you about this?
I had a black lesbian get mad at me about it, but I usually discount lesbians' opinions. So.
Well, that tracks. Damn. Oh gosh, well, CJ, what the hell am I gonna do with you? but back to the Bill Burr thing. It is pretty dang funny that he's always consistently gone after the people that he just felt were too damn sensitive about stuff. Would constantly be ribbing on him, and I mean he's been doing like misogynistic humor on the main stage for a while now. Back when he had hair.
Oh yeah, man, his SNL. His SNL monologue alone, he's a hero for going in the SNL studio and just shitting on white women for 10 minutes. He had this whole monologue about how Black Lives Matter was supposed to be about black people getting, equal treatment in society. And it took about a total of 8 seconds for white women to take it over and make it about them.
Oh, I remember that. He's like, you take your Gucci pumps and you just step right over that fence, and everybody in the audience was shocked. They didn't even know what to do about what the hell they were hearing, because this is like in the middle of COVID. He's like, what? These are new jokes. I'm trying them out.
No laughter, nobody laughed. I laughed at
You
home.
could tell that they didn't even, they were just like listening to it in disbelief. They were like, is this okay to say? And I mean, you could tell that that's what it was. And the sheer fact that sentiment is ever out there on a comedy show lets you know that Saturday Night Live is dead. They're not pushing the boundaries. They haven't done anything like really funny in a while. I've seen a couple of mildly funny little jokes and bits here and there, but I haven't heard of like a sketch of theirs that actually really knocked it out of the park to the point where people were talking about it for a while.
What happened is that Dave Chappelle will come on about once a year, and that'll be the only time that you see a funny sketch on SNL.
Oh yeah, I can't forget about that. I kind of have forgot about it, mainly because just the quality of SNL overall has slipped so damn far that I've kind of just written it off. I mean, I used to stay up late and try to like sneak in watching SNL. Like when I was like a little kid and I still had like a bedtime and shit like that. But man, fuck that. There's no chance I'd even.
I love old SNL. I love old SNL and I'll always watch the old clips, but I refuse to watch new comedy done by them for the same reason I don't watch new Simpsons. It's like something that you love. Like it's like a loved one that gets addicted to heroin and they're past that point of no return. and they're just not even what you recognize them as a human being. Like, that's what SNL is to me. They're so far down the fucking alleyway of woke bullshit that there is no recovery. And if I just even look at that show now, I will get depressed. Because then I start thinking, man, is this really the place that, like, gave birth to fucking Larry David and Richard Pryor and Chris Farley and Norm Macdonald, the people that are actually
Eddie
funny?
Murphy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, anyone that's on that show, you can tell their career's not really going anywhere. They might get lucky and, some Hollywood producer might feel bad enough to pick them up. Well, I guess they'd be a New York producer and be like, well, we'll give you a movie and see if it goes anywhere. Then it won't.
And SNL harbors my arch nemesis, Pete Davidson. I fucking hate that guy. Just imagine Seth Rogen, but with no ability to write movies.
Yeah, and Pete Davidson decided to talk shit about Dan Crenshaw. That shit was so damn funny to see him eat crow on that. And I'm not particularly a fan of Dan Crenshaw on account that he ended up kind of being more politician-y than I would like. But I like the idea of there being like a Navy SEAL eye patch wearing congressman. Wish he acted a little bit more like a SEAL and less like a politician, but you get what you can take.
Well, it's like it's not even the eye patch joke that I have a problem with. It's the joke that he made. There's so many jokes that I could tell Dan Crenshaw right now that would be funnier than what Pete Davidson said on national TV. I'll give you one right now. I roll up to Dan Crenshaw, I shake his hand, and I say, hey, Dan, buddy, how's the Captain Crunch royalties treating you lately? That's a better joke right there than anything Pete Davidson has ever said. Where is my SNL job and fucking hot 21-year-old feet to come on? What the fuck, man? I'm way funnier than this blowtard.
Well, if you want to get on SNL, you have to not be funny, man. We're living in clown world, lest we forget.
It's so, and he tries to be a rock star and a comedian at the same time. It's so cringe, man.
Well, you want to shift gears a little bit, CJ, and get a little political on people?
We should. I love politics. I can't wait for the letters that we get after this episode.
Yeah, people hate talking about politics, but let me give you a little preface to this, right? I'm going to be talking about the COVID-19 bill, and I'm a bit of a political outsider. I really am a man without a country. Literally, I can't vote. And, because I don't have any illusions, and I know that all these politicians hate me, and I got utter disdain for anybody that has a government job, I tend to be hypercritical of basically everyone. And so when I see people playing sides, man, it fucking bugs me. So lately, I've been seeing a lot of boomer posts about this fucking COVID-19 relief bill. And, people like the checks, right? Everyone cares about the checks. Like, who doesn't want more money? Like, that's all fine and good and everything. But then you got these people that are like either hyper conservative or like people that just really hate Biden or something like that. And they just want to just shit all over this bill. And the thing that bugs me is that I know that these people didn't shit on the previous stimulus bills. Like, if you're going to shit on these bills, stay consistent with it. The one that gets me was there are people that are saying that only 10% of this bill goes to COVID relief. And that's misrepresenting what's in the bill at best. Like, you're really freaking stretching it to be able to say that, because, it's like 9% of the bill that goes like to directly to like buying and distributing vaccines. And there's a bunch of other shit that's associated with it, like giving money to states so that they can figure out how they want to distribute it. They like expanded COBRA, which is a fucking issue in and all of itself. And I'll tell you what really bothers me about it is that you can tell this is some dumb shit that people picked up on Facebook. or other social media shit. You ever see shit like that happen, CJ?
Yeah, there's a whole, I'm not on Facebook much anymore, but when I was, there was a whole QAnon group that was just for my area. And it was all about how Donald Trump and, what the fuck is that porn star's name? I'm blanking out.
Stormy Daniels?
No, not the one that Trump fucked. The one that used to come on the Stern Show. Oh, what the fuck was their name?
Oh, I'm not familiar.
Jenny something. But anyway, now she's not doing porn anymore, and she has an autistic son, and she's stupid, so she thinks it's because of the vaccination. So
McCarthy, right? Jenna
McCarthy?
McCarthy?
No, that's, she's not a porn star.
That's just the actress that really pushed all that shit, that wanted to get all the anti-vaxxer shit off.
Oh, Jenna Jameson, that's her name.
Oh,
Jenna
I didn't
Jameson.
know she had an autistic son.
Yeah, Jenna Jameson has an autistic son. She quit porn, and it's her wife duty now to just post on Facebook about how vaccines are the reason her son is autistic, and about how she's working with Q and Donald to save all the children from sex trafficking. And it was real funny, and just, I wouldn't interact with these people, because I really don't want to talk to them. But if you're going to go on, like, Facebook just to people watch, I would highly recommend the Q-tard groups that you find.
Man. Yeah, I can see that for that type of enjoyment. And another thing about, like, the people that are wanting to bitch about the COVID-19 bill is these are the same types of people that'll rail on about, like, 1984 and getting censored and shit like that, because Facebook will now have, like, those little fact-checking little panels and shit like that. And man, that shit gets my fucking goat, because they shouldn't be bitching about saying everything's 1984. They should be saying that everything is Fahrenheit 451. That book is way more relevant to today's climate than 1984 is. All right, let me give you a fun little quote from Fahrenheit 451. And this is the Fire Chief Beatty talking to Guy Montag. He's talking about the forming of a mass culture. He says, one column, two sentences, a headline. Then mid-air, all vanishes. Just like that, we consume and forget and consume again. Rinse, wash, repeat. The mind drinks less and less. I think that's a very poignant point as to how people consume their media these days. They're just scrolling through Twitter or Facebook or what the fuck ever. They'll see a headline, take it as fact, and if it agrees with them, they'll just fucking run with it. And it's annoying because of just the prevalence you see of people looking into this shit at surface level and then wanting to get indignant about it. If you're gonna get mad, at least fucking look into it.
Hi, Adam, I'll have you know that I checked the first two search results on Google. I'm very informed about whatever this issue is. You ever run into those people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have run into those people. Well, they might have, like, read the first paragraph of the Wikipedia or something like that. And because they can prattle off like a fact or two about something, they'll act like they're incredibly versed about stuff. I'll tell you what's really important, man. It's not being confident in what you know. It's understanding what you don't know and being to accept your shortcomings and then get beyond that. And I mean, the way that we consume media is so fucked these days because the diversity of ideas has actually gotten smaller and fringe voices have gotten way, way louder. And in Fahrenheit 451, that's what happened with the censorship of media. It came from an ultra PC culture that really was designed to stop people from speaking the truth because people found that the truth was offensive. And
yeah,
I think that's very applicable to today.
I think 1984, that book 1984, I think it's just Harry Potter for men. Men just like to talk about how they read it all day, and like, come on, I don't read, okay? I take no shame in admitting that I'm not a reader, and I probably never will read a book in full that's not men are better than women. But come on, man, read a new fucking book, dude. Like, your favorite book is 1984. Oh, how original! I've never heard that one before. It really is the guy version of Harry Potter, because there are dudes that will build their personality around this piece of media.
Yeah, I was locked up for a good while, and that whole time I read a lot. But the reason I read a lot is because I strictly didn't have much else to do. Like, there are plenty, you can only make a Magic the Gathering deck from a physical encyclopedia so much. You can only play Dungeons and Dragons so much before you're like, you know what, I just need a book to fucking get away from people and escape this place. And it was something that I did fairly often, so I read a lot. And I thought about things. And so whenever I got out, and I saw the way that people interacted with each other had changed. It was hard for me to put my finger on, but I got out of prison in 2015, and everyone was buried in their phone. And I just decided that I wasn't going to live like that, and that I wasn't going to interact behind an avatar or anything like that. That I was actually going to try to talk to people's face, because that's how I'd always done it. And with the way that people interact with each other, like, people's worlds are getting smaller and smaller because they just keep on banning and blocking dissenting voices. And, people are just screeching at each other's avatars with autistic rees rather than speaking to their face and learning to respect one another's humanity. We're in this like hyper real world where when you look at someone else's life, you see an internet reflection of what they wish their lives were. And everything seems counterfeit and disingenuine. And this pandemic has made it much, much worse because, pretty much a lot of people were forced to interact with all their friends online. And that's all the people's interactions were, except for like family and like really, really close friends. And so when you get removed from society, it desensitizes you and just makes people act like shitheads. I do actually contribute that to a large part, of the cancel culture thing, is that people are just fucking bored. Need to get a fucking job. I don't mean to sound like a 30-year-old boomer, but that is an opinion of mine.
Well, yeah, these people, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the people that cancel people for doing fun things, that is their hobby, is canceling. That's what they derive joy from, is making other people miserable.
Yeah. But shit, I went off on a fucking rant. Getting back to the COVID thing, when people were talking about the pork of the bill, the $1.9 trillion bill, it does have pork in it. But look, I'm gonna challenge everyone listening. Think of the last time you ever heard of a budget bill that didn't have pork in it. You can't think of one, because they all have fucking pork in it. That's the way these politics are played. And the government is always going to waste money. And that's all sides. There's all sorts of dumb money getting thrown around in the $1.9 trillion bill. There's like $1.5 million for a fucking bridge connecting New York to Canada. There's $100 million for the Silicon Valley subway. There's $480 million to preserve native languages. There's $50 million for environmental grants. And, all in all, there's about 15% of the bill of shit that had nothing to do with COVID. But don't forget about those other bills. The one that cut the $600 check, the one that got passed while Trump was still in office, that one had this weird fucked up provision that had $25 million to go to Pakistan to strengthen democracy and promotes women's rights. And Lindsey Graham, of all people, pushed for that shit. It was something that actually cleared Congress, but Trump slapped that shit down in 2018, so they were going to backdoor it into the fucking COVID bill. All these bills are full of pork. In fact, politicians in general and all politics is completely full of shit. Everybody over there is a scumfuck and is doing it for their own self-grandeur. And so if you really are trying to play to a side too hard, reevaluate yourself because you're getting fucking played. Don't be a stan.
I mean, yeah, I totally agree with you, man. The first time Donald Trump ran for president, I fell for his marketing. But then I realized, he's just another corporate show in a different package. He's in a funnier package, and he can present himself like a real marketing guy. But at the end of the day, nothing that I need done is gonna get done for me in terms of from a legal perspective. So I should just move on with my life and not give a shit about any of it, really.
Yeah, I think we're both the flyest nihilists around here. Well, let's stop talking about fucking COVID bills for a second and fucking lighten the mood. So, we got To Catch a Redditor. And man, we got some fucking good ones today. Man, we got some good ones. So, let's play the Bill Burr one, man. This one's fucking gold. So, of course, this segment is To Catch a Redditor. Alright, here we go.
Posted on r/Bill Burr. Why is Bill Burr trending on Twitter right now? Tweets like this are coming out. Asia posted, Bill Burr is the perfect example of why white men deserve to be kept in cages. Asia's Twitter profile reads, 88, BTS Army, Democrat, News Junkie, Bi, Mouse and Rabbit biased, timeline curated to my liking, no solos, hard stan, NSFW 21, no minors, hashtag Black Lives Matter, she, her. She has 33.8 thousand tweets, and she joined on November of 2011. Oh, and by the way, Asia is spelled all fucked up.
Oh, man. So, this chick also, of course, has her profile locked. What would you say, the fucking ivory tower, I'm too important mark? Or whatever the fuck that is?
I like the no minors touch in the bio. That's an added touch.
Oh, yeah. The loving K-pop and getting on about, like, all sorts of bullshit. And the reason this chick's tweet got out so far was because this chick was Quick Draw McGraw. She had this thing out, like, a minute after fucking Bill Burr went up on stage. And that was one of the first ones that people picked up on for ridiculous shit. Because Bill Burr primed the audience. He's like, hey, look for fucking ridiculous people talking about this crap. Oh, God.
I guess after this scandal, the question that science has been trying to answer has been finally answered. The answer is yes. Monkeys can use an iPhone, and they just do it to post about Bill Burr jokes on Twitter. So write that down, Shane Goodall. I know you love the podcast.
Disavow. All right. So all right. Here's one about the stimulus.
Posted on r/stimulus check. Posted by Glad I'm Here Putin. Pizza. Direct deposit, $1,400. Me at Little Caesars. Just a pizza, because I already got this crazy bread.
That one's not bad. Like, as far as, like, just having a random post is concerned, it's like, all right, you cracked a smile out of me.
Oh, yeah, I like how the peaceful protesters are talking about how they should lock white people up in cages. That's pretty funny to me.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, so here's one about your separating the art from the artist.
Posted in r/change my view. If we accept that art requires establishing a world with rules and morality, if characters' choices and the world's response to those choices both reflects the views of the creator and informs the audience about how they should feel about the choices, then art and artist cannot and should not be separated.
So, what do you think about that, CJ?
My retort to that is, I'm sorry you're a brain-dead faggot who is not able to use context clues to figure out that art cannot be good unless it has scumbags in it. And the reason for that is because art is based on some perception of reality. And in reality, we are all scumbags to a certain level. So the fact that you don't like this one guy because he's doing some scummy thing you don't like, that doesn't matter at the end of the day. What does matter is that he's able to make a movie, a show, or anything that relates to people in a way. I mean, I hate to break it to you people, but the idea of Jesus that you read about in the Bible, that's just an idea. Jesus committed sin all the time, too. Like, it's not, there is no perfect human being that just doesn't commit sin. I hate to tell it to you people, but
yeah. I wish you could have seen the rest of the post, because this thing was fucking stupid long, and the amount of basically softball things to try to get you to accept a basic premise that's slightly warped to roll you all the way back around to hating art because of some of whoever made its problems was truly amazing. But, I wouldn't want to subject everyone to that kind of nonsense. So let's go for the last To Catch a Redditor we got for the day. This one's about Piers Morgan.
Posted by Fire Tiger Throwdown 7 years ago in reference to Piers Morgan. He's the worst fucking human being who hasn't raped or murdered or been responsible for economic downfall. Piers Morgan is a shit-spewing tower constructed from pure smugness that was harvested from the smug reserves deep in the smug mines of the third moon of Smug 4. He walks around with a massively undeserved ego and massively undeserved success. Actually, that's not quite right. He earned his success by being the editor of a viciously hateful, celebrity-obsessed, and privacy-despising, hypocritical tabloid. He built on that success because his willingness to dive lower than fecal matter of a dead angler fish rotting within the darkness of a deep-sea fissure meant he was strangely able to climb over anyone with a hint of self-respect or honor. And this goes on, and I mean on forever.
Yeah, this post was crazy long. This dude had a fucking copy pasta rant about any time someone mentioned Piers Morgan, and all of a sudden, bam! It's like, holy shit! Man,
some guy really hates Piers Morgan, I guess. I mean, I know him as the guy that got punched in the face by Jeremy Clarkson. That's all I know him by.
Right. Well, that's been To Catch a Redditor. I guess let's get into talking about Piers Morgan. So, Piers Morgan is the guy that got punched in the face by Jeremy Clarkson, right? Do you know him from anything else?
Yeah. He was on season 1 of The Apprentice, and he was a total bitch on there, and he would threaten to walk off set every scene he's in. He's talking about how he's gonna walk off set, and he's not doing it anymore. And Trump would just yeah, I don't care. Go ahead. I do know him from that, but I wasn't aware that he was a journalist until recently.
Oh, man. Do you remember him getting blown the fuck out by Ben Shapiro on his own show?
I do not. I know he got pretty, it was pretty embarrassing what Ted Nugent did to him on his own show, but I don't know about the Ben Shapiro one. So,
I love Ben Shapiro. This dude's one of my favorite bad actors, man. Some people look at this dude and they just see the perfect portrait of a greedy merchant, or a happy merchant more likely. But this guy, his debate tactics are so weaselly, but they're so sharp at the same time. Like, if you're not ready to deal with a guy like Ben Shapiro, man, he will walk all over you. And man, he trounced Piers Morgan bad, like real bad. He came on a show to talk about gun control after a school shooting had happened, and he told Piers Morgan that he was standing on the graves of dead children to pass his gun control legislation. Piers Morgan.
Oh shit, that was him?
Yeah, that was...
Wow, yeah, that's a great interview. I just had no idea that was Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, that was the original. How
Holy
dare
shit,
you.
Man.
And I mean, Piers
He got
Morgan,
so fucking butthurt over that, too. He was rustling his tie and shit. He did not know what to fucking do.
No, we got actually some of the interviews where he gets all indignant. Those are some of his best shit. Like Jesse Lee Peterson talking about how Black Lives Matter was started by a bunch of militant, radical black lesbians. That shit was so fucking funny. They cut his mic.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, this dude got his start in 1989 writing for tabloids. And like, he's such a scumfuck. And really, he only has a career for TV at all because he managed to buddy up with Simon Cowell and get on one of those talent shows as a judge, where he was just constantly talking shit because he's the perfect freaking British smug asshole, because that's exactly what he is. Now, the reason I'm talking about Piers. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, that's the resume for that judge job, is British smug asshole. And I can't think of a better guy than Piers Morgan to do it.
Yeah. I mean, so the reason I'm talking about him is partially to do a victory lap. If you remember, I brought in Bridgerton a couple episodes ago, and I'd said on there that the British royal family were some of the most racist assholes out there. And then, well, would you lo and behold, here comes the Meghan Markle interview, where they talk about the people in the British royal family being all concerned about the skin color of Harry and Meghan's baby. And everyone going like, oh my God, can you believe how racist these people were? Can you believe any of that? But of course, you got these fucking British people that just can't stop sucking the dick of the royal family and want to try to defend him over all this. And so here's what's funny. Fucking the weatherman for Good Morning UK or Britain or whatever the fuck, he is the one that gets on Piers Morgan's case and tells him that he's being a whiny little bitch because Meghan Markle didn't want to talk to him, and that his constant harassment is deplorable. And then Piers Morgan storms off stage and ends up getting his ass basically fired. He resigned from all that, but we all know what happened. They're like, look, you can either resign or you're going to get fired. So he resigned.
That's pretty funny, man. Yeah, I saw some Facebook thing today that said that Meghan Markle is a crisis actor and the royal family not really racist, and they wrote a script with Oprah and it was all pre-planned, and the conspiracy tards are already pretty deep in on this issue, which I thought was impressive because this is brand new news.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, really, Piers Morgan comes on the news and says, I don't believe her when she said she was suicidal. That's a dick move, man. So first off, you don't know one way or the other. You might have a feeling, but if you can't point to some evidence or a repeated pattern of behavior or something like that, you gotta bite your lip on that one and bide your time until you can say something with a little bit more authority. At this point, he seems like a little bitch, and here's why. He went on an interview where he talked about meeting Meghan Markle. He met Meghan Markle and they met up for drinks at a bar, and he was into her. He said that he was feeling it and that he put her in a cab to send her home. But instead of her going home, she went to a party. And when she went to that party, that's where she met Harry. And then she just ghosted him, never texted him back, all that type of shit. So he looks like such a freaking spurned little girl about all this stuff. Like, he's the butthurt from this dude is just so apparent. And he just is so
Dude,
beside himself.
that's so
Can't help
fucking
himself.
funny that's fucking hilarious that he got cucked by royalty at a house party.
And then he wants to call her a liar and try to defend the royal family when it's one of the royal family that's banging that chick that he wants to bang. And
well, I think if anything, he's probably suicidal after fucking Harry just swooping in on his bitch like it's nothing.
yeah, and the news or the weather guy was like, she has the right to cut you off. That's hers. But you've been so vicious and hateful that you've contributed to her feelings about all this. And that's when he was like, oh, well, I can't stand this, and just walks off the stage. But man, for someone who slings so much fucking mud, that talks so much cash money shit, you can't put your feelings aside and actually take a little ribbing or get out of your feelings for a damn second. It really is pathetic, just like the weatherman said. It's like, oh, this is pathetic. This behavior is just diabolical.
Yeah, I remember the punch. The reason Jeremy punched him in the face was because Pierce got butthurt by a joke that was directed at him during a Top Gear taping, and he threatened to walk off the set, and that was Jeremy Clarkson's way of dealing with the situation.
Just punching him. Man,
which I think is pretty badass.
Yeah, kind of envious of the dude because, God, that's, you can look at some people and just tell that they're a damn waste of space. And I still am somewhat beside myself and trying to figure out how the fuck this dude ever became successful in the first place. Like, he must have got a modicum of success in the tabloid shit and happened to get on a news show that did somewhat well, and then they just used that success to be like, well, this dude was successful, so if we put him on the show, the next show will be successful. Successful means successful, right? And then it turns into that weird fucking snowball of shit where someone thinks that someone's going to do well because they've done well in the past, and they keep on just propping up some fucking hack. And that's my take on it. And I still can't figure out who actually gives a shit about Piers Morgan in the first place. I'm like, why hasn't this dude faded into obscurity a long time ago?
Piers Morgan seems to give a lot of shit about Piers Morgan. But he's the only one I know of that actually cares about what he says.
Oh, I'm almost forgetting. Now I remember why who gives a shit about Piers Morgan. It's Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch loves this guy and has been propping him up forever. And him and Simon Cowell are also friends, so Simon Cowell props his ass up forever. They're like the only two people in the fucking world that give a shit about Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan himself is not a person.
I also think, too, the reason that he is famous is because he came up in a time where people in the media, if they were British, they were looked at as somehow smarter and more intelligent just because they have a British accent. And I think that's why Pierce was able to, it's a lot like John Oliver. There are actual people in this world that look at John Oliver like news. And why is that? Because those people think that everything you say in a British accent is automatically smarter, no matter what it is.
I actually like watching John Oliver, mainly because I like trying to decipher the spin. I like trying to find where the spin is and deciphering it and trying to find out a little bit more truth about the thing. And sometimes he will touch on a point that'll actually educate me from time to time, but I still gotta extract the spin out of it and find more of the fact-based shit that he's actually talking about. And, I wish more people looked at the news that way, but, I already know that requires, effort and shit, and, that, who's got time for that?
Well, it's like John Oliver, too. I really don't he does this middle ground thing where somebody will call him out for being a bad journalist, right? And when that happens, he'll say, oh, I'm not a journalist. I'm just a comedian that reports on the news. But when he wants people to look at him seriously, he'll be like, as a journalist, I think it's important to trust the news. And Orange Man is bad because he's telling you not to listen to the news.
Yeah, that really, of all the people I've ever seen, there was one dude that was able to walk that line fairly well, and that was Jon Stewart. If you've never seen Jon Stewart go on Crossfire in 1999, God, that was one of the best showings on any news show ever. Because that's when Tucker Carlson was brand spanking new, and he was still wearing a bow tie. And man, Jon Stewart made Tucker Carlson look like a fucking fool on that show. Just blew his ass out the water. Tucker Carlson is trying to come at him, talking about his journalistic integrity, and Jon Stewart just looks at him and goes, "The show leading up into my show is puppets making crank phone calls. What journalistic integrity are you talking about?" Like, in that one, you could tell he cared about the entertainment of that.
Yeah, I forget that at one time Jon Stewart was actually funny. I was just listening to music on YouTube, and I managed to come across the time where he made fun of Bill O'Reilly. Yeah. And that was just fantastic.
Jon Stewart had a really good, solid, I would say probably 4 years where he really found his stride and was really firing on all cylinders. He was really starting to fall off towards the end of everything, and you can kind of tell when someone's lost their edge and their heart isn't into it anymore. And then he left some other hack to run the thing that is just not funny at all, and that was a damn shame.
Well, when you start to become a corporate product, it's no longer about entertaining at that point. I mean, one of the hardest hits for me was to see Stephen Colbert just become a Hollywood plugging politics cringe fest. That's a guy I actually looked up to him at a time when he was writing for Comedy Central. I thought he was a very funny dude.
There was some solid bits on the Colbert Report. It's like, whenever you really got solid satire and shit is genuinely funny, there's something about truth in comedy that just can kind of open up someone's eye to the absurdity of everything.
Even before that, man, he was on Harvey Birdman. He was fucking great on that show. And just to see him today, where he is, it's so sad. It's a lot like the SNL thing that we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, all the edges got removed. All the, everything got smoothed out, and it got turned into a bland corporate commercial that's just... it is really devoid of anything that's really all that funny. And I still watch Stephen Colbert because that's one of the ways that I keep my finger on the pulse of left-wing corporate cuck media. I really try to run the gambit and consume media from as many sides as I can see that are relevant, so I can kind of try to tell where people are standing, just so I can understand everyone's argument and how they feel about shit. Because I tend to, go at people from every angle.
Yeah, the way I look at it is I try to consume the least amount of news as I can possible. And if I do find myself interested in a story, like if I want to bring it in here, what I'll do is I'll go to a leftist communist site, and then I'll go to a QAnon boomer turd site, and I'll read over both of those. And at that point, you just fill in the gaps. And you're like, well, on the leftist side, they don't point out the truth here, here, and here. And on the right side, they ignore the truths here, here, and here. So if you look at both of them at the same time, you're able to glue together, and that's how I figure out what really happens.
Yeah, that's not a bad approach. At least I don't think so at all. Well, so what else we got today this week, CJ? What's your last topic that you want to talk about, man?
Oh man, so this one really got me
for this. I know, man.
Dude, yeah, this one really got to me. to the point where when I got done and watching this bullshit documentary, I called you and I was like, hey, Adam, I know we brought this in already, but I got to bring it in again because there's so many angles to just make fun of this at. But I'm bringing in the Woody Allen documentary again, and specifically the point of the last episode, which is that the filmmakers of this documentary are not able to separate the art from the artist.
That's right. So we're going to be talking about Woody Allen again. We are double dipping.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
extra content for half the price. So, all right, man. What's got your goat about this? Because you were fucking heated last when you first talked to me about this.
Oh, dude, man. So, before I get into really why I'm heated, I would also like to point out that just the journalist in this story, it's so retarded, man. Like, the first half of this last episode, it's not even about Woody Allen. It's about some blowhard at the New York Times. Because what happened is Dylan Farrow, which is Woody's daughter that he allegedly molested, that woman wrote an open letter about it to the Times, and the reply she got back we can't publish this in the Times because we love Woody Allen too much. So fast forward to 2 years later, and the Harvey Weinstein thing happens, and that is exactly why they published this story. They're not looking to give this woman a voice as a victim or whatever. That's the bullshit that they said. And this guy had the nerve to be like, as a journalist, I really think it is my job. It's really important for me to just let everybody have a voice and shine light on all the issues. No, you looked at this as a cash cow for clickbait. Because this happened right when the Weinstein shit was happening. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, he might have been scared about the blowback too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if she was able to be like, oh, I told them all this stuff, and then they didn't want to publish my letter because they didn't care, and then in the middle of when the Me Too was really roaring at full tilt, yeah, everyone was scared of that fucking lynch mob.
It is such a cash grab by the media. But that's not originally why I brought this in. So you come to find out that later in the documentary, you come to find out that because these people are bitching on Twitter, and you have people like Selena Gomez and Natalie Portman denouncing Woody Allen. Fucking Selena went as far as to donate all her salary to her own charity because she's like, I don't want to be known as the actress that worked with the child molester, which is just fucking rich.
Wasn't Natalie Portman in a movie where she played an underage girl that tried to seduce a hitman?
Yeah.
Leon the Professional? Yeah, I think that happened. So anyways, why are these chicks all indignant?
But these chicks are the reason that I can't see Woody Allen movies in America. You're literally silencing this guy and his art because you're not able to separate the art from the artist. I don't give a fuck how many children he fucked. That doesn't make Annie Hall any less funny than it is. Whatever Works is one of my favorite movies. Is it Dylan Farrow gonna make a Whatever Works? I don't fucking think so, because I read that memoir, and it's fucking boring. There's not one joke in there. I don't give a shit about Woody Allen. It's not even, by the way, it's not even proven that he did rape his daughter, okay? They proved
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but...
Well, I mean... if you were
I
to
mean, I tried
ask
to
me,
separate it too.
yeah, if you were to ask me personally, and I'm a Woody Allen fanboy, and I would even say still, yeah, he probably molested that kid. Okay? But why is it that when I want to watch a fucking Rainy Day in New York, I have to go to some bootleg shitty French Eurofag website and read subtitles because you bitches just have to cancel somebody. And it's all these brain dead people that are able to separate the art from the artist. Fucking every artist in time is a bad human being, okay? Elvis is a fucking pedophile too, but did that make Jailhouse Rock a bad song? No, Elvis still fucking rules. And I love Woody Allen, and it pisses me off. What if Rainy Day in New York is his best fucking movie, but because of you moral faggot cunts, I can't watch it. I can't watch the movie because you guys have to pretend to care that he molested a daughter to stay relevant in the media.
Let me plug a podcast that I listen to that I think is just absolutely brilliant, and that's Roast Mortem. That's a really great podcast. They take someone that's dead, they troll through their life, and then they talk about all the fucked up shit they've ever done. And some of the stuff about some of these celebrities is fucking shocking. How some of the balls out insane shit they did, like all the ones on the founding fathers. These dudes were fucking weird. People like Jimi Hendrix. This dude did so much fucked up shit and slapping around prostitutes and shit like that. Like it's absolutely nuts. And whenever you really take off the rose-colored glasses and look at these people, a lot of people that are involved in Hollywood, they're in the business of vanity. And I'll tell you what, that is not healthy for your fucking psyche. It turns people into pieces of shit. And they tend to do fucked up shit. And as soon as someone gets busted for actually doing something like that, if that just suddenly gets written out of the Library of Congress or whatever, there's not going to be much to watch or listen to.
And it's like, you have to be mentally ill to think that you're so important that people want to hear your perspective and point of view on a movie script. And sometimes it works out, I'm a big fan of Woody Allen, but for someone to even think that they're so important that the world needs to hear their voice, so they travel to California and desperately try to get that first movie so they can get a career going. That is mental illness. No shit, Woody Allen molested kids. That's what his movies are about. Do you not watch the movie? Do you not pay attention? Every romantic comedy, I hate calling them that because they're not, but that's what Woody called them, so you have to call them that. Every romantic comedy that this guy does, it's about an age gap relationship where the girl is just freshly coming off of 17 and she meets a guy that's 65 and she falls in love with that guy. You know why that movie exists? Because deep down, Woody Allen is sick with the idea that he's a pedophile. He does not like it. So he makes these movies to justify his pedophilia by saying, oh, it's love. The women want it. They love this relationship that they're in. They don't. They're in it for the money. Me and Woody know that. They're in it for the money. But he makes these movies to feel better about himself, and they just so happen to be entertaining. And I'm so fucking mad that I can't watch this film. It could be his best movie. Yeah, I mentioned Whatever Works. I fucking love that movie. It came out in 2008. That's way late in his career. This guy has been directing his own movies since 1968. So it could be his best movie that I'm missing out on. Because Woody allegedly molested his daughter, And you guys don't even care about the daughter that he molested, okay? That's not what this is about. It's about these people that worked with him, like the Natalie Portmans, like the fucking Scarlett Johanssons. They're just doing this shit so they can stay in the spotlight longer without actually having to do anything. They love to be interviewed to talk about how much of a feminist they are for no longer taking checks from Woody Allen after they've already been cashed.
Oh man! So when you told me you were bringing this in, I really thought about it for a while because I've done my best to separate the art from the artist for a long time, and I tried to think back of when the first time I really felt that way was, and it was Matt Parker and Trey Stone. Sometimes I get their names mixed up, but
The South Park
they
guys,
were
right?
filming basketball. Yeah, the South Park guys. They were filming basketball. And it had come out that, like, some chick accused them of, like, being inappropriate on the set and, like, harassing her or something like that. And one of my friends was on some weird fucking white knight kick and just decided that he was going to stop watching South Park and he wasn't going to go see basketball. And this is, like, when South Park was, like, at the top of its game. It was super edgy. The novelty of it hadn't set in yet. And I looked at this dude, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You love this show. I'm like, why are you being such a faggot? You know, mind you, this is like, you know, in the early 2000s and shit like that. That's how we talked. And, it fucking shocked me. And I'm like, oh, this is what happens when you get in your feelings too fucking hard. You just decide that you're going to take things that are great in this world and you're just going to ignore it so you can become a more miserable human being. All right, I'm not going to do that.
And it's like, with your friend, right? That's even more confusing to me. Cause why the actresses are speaking out against Woody just because they like to get the interview that comes from it. They want to be interviewed by Forbes on what their point of view on Woody Allen is. But, like, does your friend think that chick is gonna bang him because he doesn't watch South Park?
No, I have no idea what this dude's kick was. But then again, this dude always was kind of a save a hoe kind of dude. Real Native American. Ended up becoming a cop, too. Ah, fucking guy.
But yeah, I fucking give a shit about this one, and I want my Woody Allen movie, damn it. Like, it's to the point now where I thought about this before the show. I was like, am I just gonna have to buy every Woody Allen movie because are they gonna wipe it off the internet? Because people are gonna write to Amazon about how he's allegedly a massive child predator.
Oh.
It's
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They've taken episodes of Boondocks off and shit like that. But hey, I'll tell you what, let's finish talking about Woody Allen and get to the voicemails. So if you can get a bootleg copy of some of these fucking Woody Allen movies and get them to CJ, give us a call at 281-747-6015. CJ would greatly appreciate it.
absolutely. Consider if I get one of these Woody Allen movies in the mail from the listeners, I'll let you use me as a tax write-off. How about that?
Oh fuck, that is solid. All right, so we only got one voicemail this week. Let's give it a go.
All right.
Hey guys, I just want to say happy birthday to each of you. I don't know when your birthday is, so just save this and play it later. Adam, I hope you get all the little Lego sets that you always wanted. I hope you get this big-ass pirate ship Lego thing that we all wanted as a kid. There's goddamn cops pulling someone over. Fucking bullshit. I hope you get all the Legos you want, bro. I hope you get all the fucking toys and the Nerf guns and everything. And CJ, I hope you get all the fucking able-bodied, yoga-induced whores that you can shake a fucking dick at. I want you to
Oh, yeah, man.
have an 8-ball. When you wake up, tell that whore to put her legs behind her head like the hole that she is, and just go to town, buddy. Just really fucking rip that one a new one. Happy birthday, boys. Keep up the great work.
Well, damn, that was nice. I mean, it's not my birthday and everything like that, but I mean, he kind of knew that.
There's nothing wrong with the early birthday present, man. Thank you for the kind words.
No, not at all. Recently, my girl, she bought me a Lego set on the GP just because she thought I needed is what she calls a happy gift. And man, this fucking set is badass, man. I like every time I see these new Lego sets, I just grieve for the child that I was, because these Lego sets are so much more badass than they were when I was growing up. She got me the fucking Nintendo set that's like a regular Nintendo that comes with like a TV on it. And you can like insert the Nintendo cartridges and shit like that, and it like goes down just like a real Nintendo does. And the TV has like a little wheel that you turn, and it makes a Super Mario Brothers scene like scroll by. Man, this thing is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. That's almost as cool as my Lego BLM AutoZone set.
Oh, where you just build up an auto zone and then you throw on a black hoodie and walk by and just start smashing out the windows?
It's equipped with Lego bricks too for all your throwing pleasure, because you know, if anything's gonna stop police brutality, it's stealing those brake pads for your Dodge Charger.
Yeah. Or starting a false flag operation to make it seem like this thing was actually a riot to give the cops an excuse to declare it a riot and start tear gassing everybody. We all know the truth out there, brothers. Well, I think that's all we got for this week. You got anything else you want to say, CJ?
I do want to plug a show. I was most recently on the most recent episode of Here's What I Don't Get. And
oh, love that show. Listen to it every week.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that show as well. And I wanted to shout out Mad Cucks' dad, because Mad Cucks had told me that you're a big fan of the show. So we appreciate the listen from everybody, really, but I've never been told by somebody that their dad likes my show, so that was very cool to hear for the first time.
Yeah, word, fuck, that's pretty cool. Yeah, go check out Here's What I Don't Get. Listen to the latest episode that CJ is going to be on. It should be hitting pretty soon. Actually, by the time this comes out, it should already have been out.
Yeah, they release on Friday, so you'll hear this on Saturday. It'll already be out for a day.
Oh, yeah. So, well, all right, everyone. Be sure to come and check us out at on Twitter at WGA Shit Show. Stands for Who Gives a Shit Show. Be sure to check out some of the other podcasts that are friends of the show, like the NFHC podcast, of course, The Dick Show, Roast Mortem Cast, that's another good one, and Here's What I Don't Get. Also, be sure to check out the Rich Dickman Show, that's another good one. Be sure to check him out. Go to patreon.com/Rich Dickman and support this guy. Rim deserves it. He puts a lot of effort into it. And I think that's all we got for this week. So, I'm Adam from Houston.
And I'm Crippled Jesus. Stay horny, everybody.
See ya.